All right, Kelly, what is
Malik.
up? How we doing?
This is really exciting.
I am very excited to sit down with you. I feel like we have an ongoing conversation all the time about different things, about business, about creative, about design, all kinds of really cool things. And I'm so glad that I finally get to have this conversation with you in public.
I know. Well, I guess I never really thought about it that way, that it would be something we would have in public.
Yeah.
But we have great natural conversation. And I think it's not just because we love weddings, but because we love having these companies that we have.
Yeah.
And that we love what we do.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel like the wedding part is like 20% of it, and then there's like the business part, and then there's just like teams and building systems and making something better. I think is what we love doing. So I wanted to have this conversation, and I was thinking about why I wanted to have the conversation and what I want to get out of this conversation, what I want to get people watching and listening to get out of this conversation. And it's layered, but overall, I think I'm calling this conversation the art of celebration. And
I like the title.
because one of the things
there is an art to it.
Yeah, it's art, science. There's a whole everything to it. And you're someone that I've worked with that really brings out the beauty of celebration. And that's
the core of it.
Yeah.
Really, when you think about, weddings, that's what we're there to do. Of course, there's a ceremony where that's not so much about the celebration.
Right.
That's about two people joining, and which we love, and I cry.
Do you cry at weddings a lot?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sometimes because I can't believe what just happened.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But more often than not, it just speaks to my heart.
Yeah.
And, I think, we're both married people. Mm-hmm. I love being married.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know what is about to happen to these people when they get married, and I'm happy for them.
For sure.
So, to me, it's also a very emotional thing. But, celebration to me, there's a celebration at the end of the ceremony, they're married now.
Yeah.
This is amazing, and
go.
Everyone feels it, But what happens, even before the ceremony and then right after, warm welcome, and then after the ceremony with cocktail hour, people are mingling with each other and celebrating. But then at dinner, when they're toasting each other, when people are speaking about how wonderful everything is and how great it's going to be and how wonderful these people are, it's so good.
Yeah.
But then when you get them on the dance floor, I'm sorry, you are there to celebrate, and there is an art in it. But the celebration also, and I skipped ahead too much because I feel like the dinner is also a huge part of the celebration.
Absolutely.
Think about when you have friends and family over to your house.
It's like a big dinner party.
Right? It's a big dinner party where great conversation is happening, and
and it's like, for me, the way you walk through the day, to me it's like a part of the movie where everyone comes. It's like the climax of the movie, right?
Yes.
Where these two people had their own lives, boy meets girl or girl meets girl, boy meets boy, whatever.
Yeah.
And they finally come together, and all their friends and family are like, "Yes, we've been waiting for this." And you don't know what he had to go through to get to this day. And I saw him when I was a roommate in college, and now he's doing this, and then so there's this. To me, it's like that part of the movie, or the montage, where you see all the different flashbacks of what it took to get here, and then now it's one day, and then to me as a DJ, as a entertainer, that dance floor is the moment. This is the moment, this is the moment you've been waiting for. So,
there's so much excitement in it, but there's an art to it, just like you said, into making that happen. It's not just good songs.
Right.
When it comes to, if we're going to talk about music, and the experience that the DJ brings to the table, or the DJ with the musicians, you can't just play the music. You can't just pick good. There's lots of great music out there, but you can't just pick those and think that that's going to make it all work.
No.
It's about how you line them up, and
For sure.
Seeing who's there and how they're reacting to it, and knowing what parts work at certain times during the evening, and seeing that these people need a break. They've been dancing.
I gave them 5 bangers.
Yeah.
Their feet are hurting. Let me Let me take it here.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let them get a cocktail.
Yeah. Go grab your drink, girl. I'll see you in a second. Yeah. And I love when they're at the bar and they're waiting in line, and I know like they all taking a break, but I'm like, we got to bring it back up. And I drop a song, and they're like, crap, let's go.
Like they were in line, they leave the line.
They leave the line.
I'm one of those people,
Yeah.
and I think that's another thing, Malik. And I think the same about you is that you realize opportunity to celebrate. Like. I'm one of those people that, like, if I'm at a party or at a wedding as a guest, my song comes on, you know what my song is.
Mr. Brightside? What is
yeah,
it?
Mr. Brightside.
Come on.
I cannot sing. I'm like, I will drop everything to get out on the dance floor.
Absolutely.
Like, and you recognize, your guys recognize when those moments are happening. And like, just like you said, they're going to get out of line at the bar to come hit the dance floor. There's just some moments that you recognize and acknowledge.
Yeah, and I think the reason why it's an art too, right, is because it's about people, and it's about communicating to people. It's about interacting with people, and I think that's where, one of my loves and strengths have come from is like being able to connect with people. Even before I was a DJ, is something that I loved. Whether it's a conversation or as a teacher, or whatever. I've done so many different little things, but connecting with people has been my favorite part about it. Like, even in the process of choosing songs, like we have a really cool music worksheet that asking them like, how'd you guys meet? Like just like what songs mean the most to you, and what song did you listen to that really means something to you guys' relationship? What are your favorite songs from college that you party to?
Yeah.
What are your what songs do your coworkers love? What songs do your families love? Because for me, I want to do like in the middle of the dance set, like do like a college, like throw like 5 bangers from when all their college friends partied in college, so that I can recreate like that moment for them. And so for me, seeing that happen and then seeing the guy look at me like, yes, bro, oh my God. It's like, bam, I made a connection with these people. I took them somewhere and I went with them.
Don't you love that when it's not me they're pointing at, but don't you love that when someone in the crowd does go, bro, to you?
Yeah.
Like, you just made this happen?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love when as a planner, being on the side, I'm back in the corner.
Yeah.
But I'm watching this. I watch. And I see them connect, and they're like, that guy just made that happen for me. Not even knowing, like, it was like you were in their minds. They didn't know you had this worksheet. No,
but I already, yeah. And that's like why even, as we have this conversation, one of the things that I wanted to like convey and talk about with you is like the depth of what I do, and the depth of what we do when it comes to creating these celebrations. It's like, how can I dig even deeper into the heart of the people we're working with? And I think you've been doing this longer than me. How long you been doing this?
22 years.
22 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So 22 years. I've been doing this, let's say 13 years. And
That's a long time. That's awesome.
That's starting to get high.
But you know what? Congratulations. It takes a lot to make it past year 5. It takes a lot. And
Thank you.
You've seen change. I don't mean to change the subject.
No, yeah.
Like what a DJ did 13 years ago is not what they're doing now. It's evolved so much, and you've obviously kept up with it and continue. Like, you're a trendsetter, you're a pacemaker. Like, you have pushed the envelope, and you're a leader in this industry. Absolutely. And so I applaud you for that. Sorry, I didn't mean to keep take you off track there.
Well, it hasn't always been that way. Well, maybe it has, but I haven't always viewed it that way because, I think, like at the beginning, I was just like, it was not about, and maybe hindsight's 2020, so maybe I'm being overcritical, but it wasn't about necessarily each individual couple as it was like, I just want a gig. I just want to take as many gigs. I wasn't discriminating. I was just taking anything that came towards me. Now I feel like I've transitioned into really me almost choosing the couple. Like me going, wait.
You're interviewing them.
Yeah, like, well, hold on. I want to have a good time at this. I want to feel like, so I did a wedding the other day, and it was a great opportunity. I mean, amazing opportunity. Huge, high end, everything you'd want, right? But the couple wasn't necessarily, and the crowd wasn't necessarily my favorite type of couple to work with as far as energy and whatever. It was just really toned down, and I felt like this is not the best gig for me. This is not the best.
Felt out of place.
I felt out of place, and I was like, not that I won't do, not that I was mad at it or whatever. I just felt like, moving forward, how do I really like tap into my ideal couple to work with and my ideal celebration?
Well, I mean, if silver lining in this, that reinforced that's not what you want to do.
Right.
Like you might have needed that to happen to really be the button that was like, that was it. Like I know now, and we're not going back to that. That is not, and I'm okay with not doing that anymore. Like you might have just needed that one last straw.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's wedding planners who don't do day of coordination. Like they're like, no, I want full service, because they've done so many where it was so much hard work at the end because we weren't involved in all the places. And so they stopped doing it. I feel like it's kind of the same for you. It's like, that particular instance, you've probably had it many, many times before, but now you've seen what you love. This was the one that was like, yep, I loved it. Those other ones, I know.
I felt like I only gave, like I walked away going, man, I really only gave them like 60% of like who I actually am and what I actually do. But it was probably 100% of what they needed. Yes, not that I gave them 60, but they only saw a portion of what I do because of the way it was. And so I was like, how do I get matched with a wedding where everything about who I am comes out and everything about what I love doing comes out instead of like only a portion of it? But like, I think I only started thinking about this lately. So my question is like, in your journey, your 20-year journey, like, did you have that time too where you were just taking whatever and
yes.
How did you? How did you transition out of that? You know,
I think it was a lot of occurrences like that, and I mean, honestly, as a business person, I wanted to make money.
Exactly.
That's you can be in the wedding industry, you can have a business. They're two different things, but one and the same, and when it comes to weddings, you have a passion for what happens at them and the people that we serve and the people that we get to work with. There's a point where you have to let go of what everyone else needs from you or could, and that you're good at. Like those people probably thought that was the best wedding ever.
Everyone's like, yo, you killed, thank you.
But
right.
That wasn't for me, you know? But it's still like you did that because you knew it was going to pay off in some other way.
Sure.
And sometimes I still have to do that. 20
we teeter
some odd years
between
in.
business and creativity, right? It's
exactly.
Like we're creative entrepreneurs. And so
but sometimes we have to do things to get our foot in the door somewhere.
Sure.
And to like experience an opportunity or to like reel us back in, Right. But yeah, in 22 years, I mean, there were years where I did like 28 weddings. That's insanity. Even last year, I didn't put this year, 22, 20, it's 23 now. We did 22 weddings.
And that's a lot for a planner. For full
Way
planning.
too many. Yes. But I didn't put myself in that situation. It was because, all the reschedules from COVID. And that's what ended up happening. But it just, reminded me of those years back when I really did take everything that I could, but it was also to build my portfolio, to learn what I was good at and what I was not good at. I am not good at these weddings that are like these awesome pavilions that they have, benches out in the grass and barns. I'm not good at those.
Yeah. Well, you start learning what, like, that's not me. That's not me.
So I feel like we all have to put our time in and do that part and do all these different kinds of things to learn what it is that we're actually good at and the things that we're not, sure. and the things that we love to do and the ones that we don't. And that is going to teach us who our client is.
Yeah,
like who our client
even honing
is.
down on the type of client, right? Like not just the type of venue or I want to do luxury. I want to do I want a couple that values fun. I want a couple that values joy. I want a couple that's empathetic. I want a couple that those are some more as I've gotten more in depth about the ideal, right? This ideal client. Mm-hmm. It's not just how much money, no, that's the last thing.
Can't be. It's not.
It's more about the person and the vibe of what I'm gonna.
Because the money, that's all just the business part of it,
right?
Which you just gotta lock that up. That's the business part of it. But the passion that you have for weddings and the people that you're working with, that's what the subject we're talking about right now, and. You learn those people through the act of business, going to all these weddings where you took all of those weddings that were the 40 that you had on the calendar. But then I think as you grow and mature in your business and in weddings, you see the path of the weddings that you enjoyed, where you left at the end of the night. And even though it was 4:00 in the morning and it was a 7-hour wedding, you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
We left there going... That was worth it.
It was crazy.
Those people were nuts. They would have stayed there until 6:00 in the morning.
In the air, pushing in the chair.
And the dance floor was this big. Remember how little that dance floor was that day? And so, but
that was sick.
That was one of those that you're like, these are my people.
Yeah.
You know? And,
absolutely.
I like I said, I think there's that divisionary spot. There's that wall where you do the business part, and that's just to get your numbers in. Yeah. But then your ideal client, that's entirely different.
Yeah, you start maturing and you start clarifying and focusing.
Yeah.
And so speaking on that, 2021, Kelly, I did 120 weddings. Me.
You? Just you by yourself?
Yeah, Curate did about 400 2021. Me, though.
How is that possible? Oh, there's 365 days in a year.
But
a third of the year.
Mondays. I did 2 months of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And shout out to my wife because she really held it down. Lord.
Yeah, because you just had a baby then.
What? We had a baby 2020.
Yeah,
I got married in 2020. So it was, and it was like a one-off year for sure. But then the next year, 2022, I still did 92 weddings.
Yeah. And
it was still a lot.
A lot.
And now 2023, I'm on for 53 and I'm pretty much done. I'm done.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm getting to this place. I'm going to do less. And I'm asking myself, okay, why? Why do I want to do less? Well, obvious reasons. One, I'm just tired. I want to be able to give my couples everything. I want to be able to do one, if I can do, my goal, and it's not even a goal, it's what I'm doing. 2024, I'm only doing 30 weddings.
That's amazing.
It seems, Kelly, it seems so little. I'm 30 weddings?
Well, because there was a time where you did, what did you say, 120?
120 weddings, I know. So 30 seems crazy, but 30, if I can, for example, I just did 3 weddings in a weekend. And that third wedding I did, that Sunday I did, there's no way I gave them my best. I gave them my best, but there's no way they got what Friday got.
Exactly.
My voice was gone. I was a little tired. So I felt man, I just had that feeling of man, they didn't get me at 100.
Because you know how good you are at 100.
Right.
And I think that you're at a place where you want to give that to people all the time. And you want to be better at what you do.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to create the space for you to have that rest, to actually take the time with each client, to have those high touch moments. And, the only way to be able to do that, we're not getting more than 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
We're not getting that. So how can you take your time and really slim down your business enough to be able to really invest into those 30 weddings that you want to do?
Because those 30, Kelly, I'm telling you, those are going to be rager to the 100 to the max. And even on the prep side, I have more time to prep. And really the word I had for 2024. I'm not even in 2024 yet, but like my words. You were talking the other day on Instagram about your words. Like, why does that have to be one word and whatever? Like, my words for 2024 is depth and sustainability. Like, I love that. I want more depth with everything. I want to be able to really research each client and know, like, the songs that are going to do it for them. I want to know, like, the experience I'm going to create. And I want sustainability. I want to do this over time. I want to be able to not burn out. You know, like, I used to burn out every 3 months because of this, you know, like how I was on. So.
I could talk till I'm blue in the head about burnout and rest. You know, that's a really big deal to me. And I think that, you know, as you work on, you know, those things for yourself, it's going to show to your clients. Like, they don't know it because they didn't experience you before. They only have the experience with you now. But you making the path to serve them even better, that's really going to show up because you're creating an experience. Yeah. And it is about the experience. And I don't even just mean the experience on the wedding day. And I think that's something that you hold dearly and have learned through these, sounds like 1,000 weddings that you've done. Yeah. It's probably even more than 1,000.
1,000. Yeah, 100 times 10 years. I mean, that's, about 1,000.
Yeah. You've done 1,000 weddings, Malik. It could potentially be more or maybe a few less. But still, when you think about what you've learned and what you've been able to pull from those to, like, create a better experience for your clients, because you know it's not just about the wedding day. That it starts before they even hire you. Like, what you're offering them in advance via, now we have social media, which is amazing because you can offer experience right from the get-go with that. Like, people, like, they love the excitement that they get when they see their DJ out there already. It's not even the wedding, and they're like, that's our DJ. That's my DJ. You know?
I love the last couple of years. I love the inquiry forms. It's like, yo, we've been stalking you on Instagram for 6 months. We watch every single one of your videos.
But that's part of their experience. You know what I mean? So it's like you've already started with them before they even hired you. You've already made it good. They're already excited about having it. Like, we get to have these are our guys. Like, and they're telling their friends and family about it. Don't think that they're not, because they're excited about you.
No, because I'll show up to a wedding and, like, mother of the bride, all the friends, like, we saw your Instagram. Like, they sent us, bro.
Yeah, they're ready for you.
They're ready, and that is my favorite.
And then once they do reach out to you, then they're, you know, like, the experience that you're now going to be able to give to them, because you've cleared out time, because you had the time to invest into them, because you're only doing the 30 clients. Those are your 30. You're one of my 30 people. How amazing is that to be able to say, guys, you get to be one of my 30 people. You're going to be one of those people, like, you know, and then lead them through your entire process. I hate that word process because it doesn't sound fun, but their experience,
whatever it is.
Let's experience this next 6 months together. And even if you only talk to them twice in the, you know, I don't know how often you talk to them, but, you know, you now have that time to be able to do it, because you know you couldn't do it and you were doing 120 weddings.
There's no way. It's really, like, the way the weeks work for me has been so, like, you know, the turnaround. Like, I have to kind of, like, in order to survive the week, I have to really only focus on that week, right? And so I want to be able to go, no, I could focus further out and not just get really in depth when it gets closer, but, like, really 6 months out, 9 months out, have some deep conversations that'll be more beneficial as we get closer. And so, man, that depth, man, and it's with this conversation, I've been thinking, like, right now, if you didn't have 100 weddings, what would you be able to do?
Yeah.
You know?
Like, think about it. Like, if you only had 30 clients, like, I've got a dozen, let's say, and I know them all well enough where I could send them a text message and say, you know what I just saw that I think you would love? Like, what if you had so few clients?
Send this song, boom.
Something comes up and you're like, you know what? Jane and Grant, they mentioned so-and-so. And I just heard this mix or whatever. Right. Okay, I don't know music. You know? So perfect for them. And you could send them a message and say, you guys, I just heard this. Wouldn't you love this at your wedding? Do you know how they're going to flip their lid when they see that their DJ was, like, so on top of it and cares about them and that their wedding is on your mind, you're gonna have the time to do that now.
Yeah, no, I'm
that changes the experience.
I'm excited for myself and excited for my couples, and then this takes me to kind of my next place, and I would love to have this conversation with you because you're the first person that you get 2 years ago. I think you gave me this huge. Thank you. You dropped it off at my house, this large rollout calendar, and it was every single day of the year for the next year. And I remember you kind of gave me how you do it. And you block out like your vacations, you block out like when you're off. I mean, in every email you send, you have like the dates you're off, like the year, for the whole year. And I just really, it was always intimidating. Like, there's no way I can do that. And we finally did it. Me and Yaz sat down. Here are the dates. I'm not, and we're doing it with 2024, like constantly. And so I'm so excited to be able to create that sustainability for not just me, for the couples, but for my families. Like that balance.
You will see all of it. Yeah. And it does balance out. But and when I implemented that for myself, my intentional days off, I realized how much more productive it made me.
Right.
Because I knew that every month, those 5 days where I was not going to have deadlines, where I was not going to have work due, where I was not going to have a meeting, where it was like, I wake up, I'm going to do whatever I want today. Sometimes because I love my job, I wake up and I'm like, I want to design this wedding today. And I'll open up a computer, or I want to go to the movies, or I want to watch something on Netflix,
White Lotus,
White Lotus. Next thing you know, I'm up till 3 o'clock in the morning watching the whole season. But doing that, the calendaring allowed me to have these days without peace. I'll never go through burnout again. That will never happen if you do this. But you will find yourself so much more productive because you have those 5 days coming.
You better work.
You better get your work done. And before you know it, like every month I saw, like in the first few months I was doing it, how much more productive I was being and more efficient because I knew those days were coming where I was not opening my computer unless I chose to, So, and you will find that. So I want to let you know that don't feel like you're slipping up if you decide to open up your computer because you're doing that. You're deciding it. Right. And it's because you actually love what you do.
Right.
So there's good in it I feel happy when I do that.
I feel like as a kid, like it's like that when you had to do something. Like I liked reading books more when I wanted to rather than when someone told me to.
Exactly that.
I like doing things when I want to, and I enjoy it more. I do it better, and so when it comes from a place of overflow of joy instead of a necessity or responsibility, it definitely feels a lot better. And it feels free. It feels freeing already. Like my 2023 is still pretty packed.
Yeah.
Especially from the top of the year, but like it's not as crazy as it was. There is more rhythm, there is more balance, but I'm excited for more of that.
Yeah.
And I just I want like where I'm going next. I feel like is that depth, and I want to really bring it to another level. Like I'm trying to think because we've done a handful of weddings together, and I just want to make it better. I just want to make it better, and I'm really excited for this next phase.
And I think that you're doing everything on your end to make sure that happens, not just like trying to like figure it out yourself, but you're putting yourself out there and going to learn. And going, like you're putting yourself in I know you've got mentors now and you've been going to get education,
Yeah, Brian B's been super helpful,
he's
man.
Amazing.
He's been really helpful and just like really even just communicating the value. Like one, like figuring out what it is that you do in the process day of, all those things that really make you and like differentiates you. And then like how to communicate that, and then like really talking about what we've been talking about, like really simplifying. Less is more, not because that phrase is so cliche to me, but it makes sense in this context a lot. Because the less I do, the more I can give.
Yes.
It's like, oh, okay, that quote in this scenario really resonates,
Yeah.
And this is like the last 2 years I've really, because I've been in my business for so long, Kelly. Like I've kind of had like a head down,
But you had to be.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't be where you're at now if that hadn't happened. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't, and you wouldn't know that you needed to learn necessarily.
Sure.
So there's a stage where you're just figuring things out.
Yeah.
And most of us are figuring out as we went along. Like most of us didn't get to go to school.
Sure.
To learn what we're doing. And even the ones that do go to school for it usually show up and they're like, this is not what they taught me in the book.
Yeah. No, not at all. So Kelly, this is a conversation I want to have because we talked a little bit off camera about it, but you finally got someone really great who I love, by the way, Nick, right?
Nicholas, yeah.
Nicholas. Mm-hmm. Worked with him at Twin Waters a couple times.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Great guy.
Love working with him. But you finally got some really good help with you on the back end and everything. And that's kind of been my journey too in the last couple of years of like having a full like staff. We have a production, we have sales, we have Heather who's like operations and kind of everything at this point. And then we just hired an admin for her. And so starting to get some real good structure around what we're doing. And then, I have my DJs too. So this last couple of years has been about team. It's been about
building a team,
giving things away and not holding on to every part of the business.
That's hard, isn't it?
It's so hard.
But then once you start, it's kind of addicting.
Oh, now.
Because your eyes are opened, right? To like, wait a minute. If I give away these things that I am not the expert at.
Not even the expert.
That I don't do well, that really don't make me better at what I'm doing. Doesn't make our business any better. Doesn't make us any money. Doesn't make our clients' experience better. If it doesn't do any of those things, then there's someone else out there who can do that.
Absolutely.
And once you, like you said, once you realize that and accept it and then actually take the action, like don't get me wrong, it took me a long time.
Crazy.
I learned it when I went to a conference. These conferences pay off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a great investment for sure.
And it was a B-Sage conference, and it's strictly for business. There's no fluff in this one. And they had someone come in, and they had us make a list of everything that we have to do in our business, like from start to finish. And so we made this list, and it was like, for mine, it was like 60 different things. So much. I was like, dang, I do a lot.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, cross off all the things that you're really not great at.
Okay.
Cross off all the things that you don't like.
Yep.
Still going.
Still going.
When it came down to it, there's like 5 things left that I enjoyed and that I was an expert at.
You remember what those were?
It's what I'm doing now.
Yeah, there it is. Oh,
it's what I'm doing now. But let me tell you, that was 2019. And
what a good time.
It was
2020.
Yeah, it's January 2019, so I had a whole year.
A whole year
before the world blew up. It took me a year to make my first investment into that. And it's when I hired a VA.
Wow.
And it was probably a solid year after that before I realized, like, I could do more. I think I can, like, there's more. And that list is still there. Still had lots crossed off that I had to get rid of, but I knew then. So it was just a matter of then someone presenting themselves to me. And that was when I brought on Nicholas. But between, and now I'm like really good at it. Like when I wanted to bring on Nicholas, I went and I paid someone to teach me how to do that. Like someone else has done this before me before. Wow. I'm going to invest that $1,000 into 90 minutes with someone.
Learning how to do this.
How do I do this appropriately? Right. How do I hire someone? How do I make an employee? And then they're like, who's going to do your payroll? Oh, okay.
HR.
Got to hire someone for that because that's not even on my list, and I'm not going to it.
Now I'm not going to put it on my plate. I'm just going to go find I'm going to go find the expert. I'm going to go find the expert. I'm not going to try and build this website for freaking 100 hours. I'm just going to go invest in it and have it be better, have it be done in a short amount of time, sustainable.
Exactly. And I'm going to do what I do best. I'm going to, do my weddings, my 30 weddings, and I'm going to invest into my guys, my team, like make them better.
Well, speaking of them, like you've worked with some of them, like I think, you know, 4 years, like almost 4 years ago, like I remember I was getting calls, like probably 10 calls a day where I was booked, and I'm like, and they would be like, oh, well, we can't, you're booked. All right, well, I guess I'll just go back into the wilderness and try to find, and I was like, hold on, like I remember my first DJ I ever like partnered with, his name was Promo, one of my best friends now, like great dude. And I was like, hey man, like, and I sat him down and we talked about all the things, and I really had to sit down and realize, what do people love about me and my experience that I can duplicate? Like there's some things about me that it's me, I'm me. But like there's some things that I realized, like, no, people love my energy. People love the kindness, the way I treat people, right? Like there's so many different things that I can implant into other people and invest in other people.
Exactly.
And so from that, it would start off at 1, then 5, and now we're 4 years later, we got 15 guys. You know,
that's incredible, Malik.
But Kelly, the coolest part is that some of the, my favorite call, Kelly, is when they're like, I'm like, oh, you looking to book me? They're like, no, we're actually looking to book DJ Leonard. And I'm like,
you're like, oh,
well,
okay.
my initial feeling is like, oh, but then literally 2 seconds later, I'm like, no, that's what I've always I wanted the same experience people to have with my guys, and I feel like we're there. You know, we have a long ways to go. Like that's what I'm excited about for this next phase, is being able to now not do 100 weddings, do 30, but with that extra time, like invest and really create the experience, not just in myself, but up the experience with the guys, you know? And
because they were good from the get go. Yeah, like so many of them have worked out our weddings, and we love them. They
thank you.
Bring it. I mean, they really bring it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the more that you can invest into them, and the better experience that they're going to give to their.
I mean, the other day we have a content group where they're just sending all the videos, and like 4 of them were, you know, DJ Ryan jumping with the crowd, and I was like, that's what I do, man. And then Jaren's like 1, 2, 3, go. And so like, but all the videos, like Flex is lit, like Fresh is out there dancing with, like everyone is like, it's the same vibe. Like, you know,
that's
it's a
your brand.
wedding.
You built a brand,
and
they are living your brand at every wedding.
Yeah. And I'm super excited, not just because it feels good. It's easier for me to say I'm going to do less when I know like we have a team that can cover.
I don't think it's necessarily. It almost sounds scary when people say I'm going to do less, because it's hard. I don't like that word because it's not. You're just doing it better.
Just doing it better.
You know, like it's like being concise.
Right.
You know, and focusing on the things that are actually good, and you know, building a great experience. You're building a rock star team. You got the best stuff here. Like, you know, you're just you're being efficient.
Yeah, well, you know what? Having a beautiful daughter forces me to be very efficient. You know, like I used to come into the office, even though they're in the week, like 6 hours, just email. I don't know what I'm doing now. I'm like in and out. Like we meet with our team, which we have a freaking amazing staff. Like Kelly, every Monday after a wedding, this is what we do. We sit down at this table, and it's me, it's Heather, it's Jacob, it's DeAndre, it's KJ. We sit around this table and we go over the past weekend, gig by gig.
Oh, wow.
All of our DJs and assistants fill out a questionnaire. We call it AARs, after action review, and so they fill out what went wrong, what went well, anything that any notes, anything. So we sit down with all that information, and we just go through the past weekend. What can we do better?
That's amazing.
Okay, we write it down. Cool. This week, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get there earlier, do this, whatever. And then after we go through the past weekend, we kind of like reset and we go, all right, we got this weekend coming up. What do we need? What do we have to do? How can we take what we just learned and apply it? So we have like a 6 staff, and our DJs are talking to the staff. The staff's talking to the DJs, and we're just constantly every week, let's like building and making it better. And that's one of my favorite parts about what I get to do, is like, it's like the after game, or like watching the tape back, you know, and go, okay, next time I'm going to cut to the left, you know, and like, you know, and so I love having a team, and I love like being able to have a team that is thinking about our couples more, like just as much as I'm thinking about them, and you know, serving them just as much as I'm serving them, and so it feels good.
What is your like? Are you hoping to expand even more, or you feel like really good with where you're at right now? For right now,
yeah. I mean, I think as far as like Southwest Florida and Florida goes, I think we're good. Like I feel, you know, we have some, you know, I feel like we have some room, but I'm cool. I'm not looking for like new DJs.
Okay.
But if they come and it just makes sense, I'm like, yes, okay, cool. But you know, we've thought about new locations, new regions. Yeah, and maybe off camera I'll tell you some of the plans we got. There's an area right now that's like kind of like begging for us to come, like planners and vendors and venues. Like, yo, you guys need to be here. We don't have. And so there's some mulling around about that. But I also think for me personally, like, you know, I want to maybe at some point move into some education stuff, you know, helping other DJs with some of the things that I feel like I'm really good at. I just, you know, I feel like I don't know when that's coming. I almost did it this past year and really like jumped into it, but I feel like I want to keep building what I have, and there'll come a time where it really makes sense.
Yeah, you know? Well, we were talking about that a little earlier off camera. Like, there's times I think in our we have chapters, we have seasons where you're building, and times where you're giving,
right?
And it might be it may not be a giving time for you yet, but everything that's happening while you're building is what you're going to be giving.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And you're so good at like giving away, giving out to people and pouring into people. And I want to say before we kind of wrap up this conversation, I really do appreciate how much you've just gone out of your way to not only like help me like in the process, but encourage me in that, you know, because as great as we are, like there's been times where we've had conversations like, hey,
we've
Malik,
had tough phone calls.
Malik. And I've been like, Kelly, thank you. Because for me, it's an honor that you're calling me and telling me, because you could do the opposite. You could be like, ugh,
off the list.
Bye.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's an honor whenever you or Corinne like call me, whether it's about me or my guys. I'm like, I take that, I probably take it too hard. Like Yaz will tell me like, it's okay. Like, you know, like, but I'll take it. And I will, next time it will be better. And it's sharpened me so much. And
that's
I appreciate
so good.
it.
And I think that, and I'm glad that you take it that way. And I feel like we should somewhat take it personally.
What? Absolutely.
Like, yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't it hurt?
This is what I do with my life.
Yeah.
Like,
why wouldn't it hurt when you are, you know, it's not, but I'm glad that you take it that way, that you realize that no one's going to come to you and tell you the hard things and have the hard conversations unless they know this is the guy that's going to turn it around. He's going to make this happen. If I invest in this person, they're going to make the change. I'm not just making that call to some of these people. No.
And I just, you've helped me like just be better at what I do. And I genuinely appreciate it. I
appreciate what you bring to our clients. You know, and I know that we're not getting the curated experience from and you know, there are times where we're reaching out to other DJs, but they're appropriate for that wedding. You know what I mean? Like,
and I love,
just like you were saying, like you had this wedding where it was going to be a great experience for you for a few different reasons, but it wasn't your client. You know what I mean? And it's the same kind of thing. So
I'll never get mad. Like I went to the DJ Collective. It's a DJ conference in Nashville by Jason, Brian, and Joe, and it was just like, you know, it was a planner DJ panel, and I heard something really cool, and a DJ said, "I'll never get mad if she doesn't use me for all of her weddings, because I know when she calls me, it's the one I'm." And so he was telling the DJs in that room, like, don't get mad if the planner that references you doesn't always reference you. You not be made for that. That planner is curating something for their client. And so now I'm always like, if you call me, if Corinne called me, that's because they know this couple wants to party. Like, I just know, like, I know that, you know, I know
exactly
that they want this specific experience that
like, you know, that when I am creating weddings, they're going to be pretty, but I'm more excited. Like, my clients are calling me for the experience that those people are going to have at that wedding. Like, you know that, like, everyone knows that. That's why we bring in the big bands when we bring why when we bring a DJ in, it's more than likely it's you guys, because They want to party.
After party, after the band killed it. Yeah.
Exactly. But then there's times where the client's telling me, I don't know if we really have dancers. Okay. I'm not bringing you.
Yeah. Because it's like
I could it's gonna be a downer for you guys even. And I care just much about the team that I built.
Sure.
Like if we don't enjoy being at work,
we
could be doing something a lot easier.
Yeah, for sure.
It's 9 to 5.
Man.
So I do want to touch base with you on something that I see that you speak about very openly, and it makes me feel good that you are making this something that could be talked about publicly. It's mental health. That's a really important subject for you.
Well, that's a part of the sustainability. I've learned that it's in this phase of my life, it's not just about time management. It's about energy management as well. And for me, when I go out and I give my energy out, there's an energy depletion that happens. And as a human, I have other things going on mentally. Years ago, almost 10 years ago, I lost my mom to cancer and my dad to a heart attack, like back to back. And it affects me every day, whether I like it or not. And so 2015, diagnosed with depression, anxiety. And so I've been in therapy for like 8 years straight. And so I value mental health awareness. I value people in therapy. Like we just told our team during Christmas, at our Christmas party, that we are going to sponsor the first 2 sessions of their therapy if they want to start.
That's amazing.
Like we are integrating mental health into everything we do. I'm going to talk to you off camera, but I want to do a mental health day for wedding vendors in Southwest Florida. Like I value it because as much as I value physical health, even sometimes more than physical health, because I just know what it's like to suffer mentally but be high functioning.
Yeah.
And so especially us in the industry, we are creating beautiful things while fighting demons and battling huge, big things. And I just feel for us because a lot of times we have to put the smile on, like everyone else, where you have to put the smile on and create and be there for the happiest day of your life. Kelly, there's been times where, and Yaz, and more than anyone knows, I'll be dealing with some darkness and have to go and be the life of the party.
Yeah.
And it could be,
I can't even imagine.
It could be almost, you feel psychotic because you just want to cry out for help. And so I need to have an outlet where I can go once a week. I go to therapy once a week and talk about what I'm going through. And I need meditation. I need to express. I need yoga and the gym and all these. I need the whole culmination of it to keep me alive and to keep me sustained in what we're doing, Yep. And we even have a nonprofit that we go all around the United States to middle schools and high schools, and we talk about anxiety, depression, bullying, suicide, and we do these huge presentations and we just go and give hope to kids because that's like really at the end of the day, like my mom is the one that got me into this thing and DJing.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
She used to take half of her paycheck, buy pizza, movie tickets, and soda, and go to this Boys and Girls Club in a really low-income neighborhood called Barrett Park. And she would have these teen nights. And so one day she goes, Malachi, she called me Malachi, I want you to come and DJ for the kids. And it was like a Friday night. I'm like, Mom, I don't want to. She goes, I'll buy you the equipment. And I was like, okay. Oh. yeah, let's do it. And so I started DJing these teen nights for the kids.
I didn't know that part of your story.
Yeah, and that's how I started. And from the beginning, my mom was a woman of joy. She'd bring joy into any room. That was her life mission. And from the jump, it's always been about spreading joy. And so to this day, she's why I do it. She's the person that got me in, And so at the end of the day, it's about being able to spread joy to people, in the midst of whatever they're going through, So
and look what it's turned into.
Yeah, and now it's this one big joyful DJ company,
That is great.
So, but no, I mean, I think at the end of the day, I want I want to create that sustainability for the health of me, even our team. Like we like take a day off. Like at the end of the day, people matter, and we don't want to get to the end of where we're at and have a successful company, but all of us be burnt out and tired and dead. You know, like
it's just not worth it.
We want to
then.
make it to the end. We want all of us to make it to the finish line. You know.
Yeah.
And so. But no, Kelly, thank you so much for
You're welcome.
having this conversation.
This is a great conversation.
Look, whenever you want to start a podcast, I mean, let's do it.
I have one.
I know. You got to start a podcast. No, but I Kelly, I appreciate
Scenes from
you.
a couch.
Scenes, something. We gotta have a good name, you know. But well, Kelly, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm glad we had a chance to talk today.
Yes. Till next.
I'm so glad you're here.
Till next time I'll see you on the dance floor somewhere.
Well, I'll be in the corner.
Yeah, I got a Fire Mr. Brightside remix for you.
And the thing is, all your DJs know too.
Yes, they do.
They know.
They
know. Like, don't not play that song. I'll be sitting there waiting like, is it coming?
You better play it.
I'll come run in from the vendor room. I heard it.
Let's just end this podcast with Mr. Brightside coming in, slowly fading in. Jealousy. All right. Thank you.
You're
Thank you for watching and listening, guys.